Hello. Not today, tonight, or this video, I'm gonna show y'all how to get 1,000,000,000 damage and wave 60 solo on all Star Tower defense. So, you're gonna need 6-star Goku with Blue Eye Orb, preferred at least. You want Bulma, you want Conan, you want Kira with Death Orb, Erwin with Bomb Orb, and Salesman. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. Now, from the very start, it's mainly just farming, and you want to make sure that you're on this map. So I'm gonna go ahead and start, and yeah. It's also very good if you have Cost Orb on your Salesman, because that makes him even better. Now I'd say this is a pretty easy team to get, since everybody had Kira, everyone has Goku now, everybody has Erwin, and everybody has the Salesman, and maybe Bulma. Now, I don't know if, like, everybody has Conan, since she's still fairly new, and, like, not everybody wants her, since she's not, like, the best unit. But, yeah, she's also pretty good for this. So, you're going to want to start out with farming. And Conan is barely needed for this, but you just want her for, like, the start. So basically, you want to make sure that you have auto skip on, and then you can go ahead and get started. That very start is pretty boring. It takes a while, but I mean, once you get started, you have to be pretty focused. Well, I mean, once, like, you get to wave, like, 30, you gotta be pretty focused. I mean, if you don't have a lot of time, you can finish this real fast and still have, like, 100,000,000 damage. So it's not the worst way to grind, but I recommend, if you're gonna do this, go ahead and just, like, do the entire strategy. Don't just, like, get the 100,000,000 and then leave. This is very worth it for the 1,000,000,000. Now, I've only done this once, actually. I remember how to do it. I just don't know if it's gonna give you 100,000,000,000 every time. I mean, not 100,000,000,000, 1,000,000,000. So once you have done that, you're gonna want to place a Conan right here, and basically she's just gonna, like, defend for the start. Soon you're gonna delete her, but you might. I remember that you have to upgrade her, I think, once before you delete her, just so you can take out the powerfuls before you place Light Yagami. Basically, this Conan is just going to defend until you have a Light Yagami and 2 Erwins down for the buff. Of course, everything would be maxed, like those 2 Erwins and that Light Yagami. See, once the powerfuls get, like, all the way over here is when you need to upgrade. And I recommend upgrading Salesman, like, twice before you place another one. it gets more, it's less efficient at the start, but it's more efficient, like, later on. Like, once you have, like, 3 down, it's more efficient than it would be to have all of them down at level 2. See, normally what I do is I have the first one, and I upgrade it to level 2 before I place on another one. Then I place these 2 at upgrade 1. And then then I get the 2 to upgrade 3, to upgrade 2. Oh my. I'm so good at English. During this, your only problems are airs and powerfuls at the start. But once you get, like, past the start, it's all easygoing. Other than the very end, because that's when you have to focus heavily to get that final to get the final 100 million damage. Yeah, so right now, all you want to do is farm, and hopefully nothing bad happens. I don't know what bad would happen, but I don't know. You really do have to focus, because, like, you want the maximum output of money. It's so boring, like, recording 2 videos one after another, because I literally just recorded a Noob to Pro video, so I don't know which video is going to come out first, since that video has, like, an hour to upload. Who knows, this video could take an hour. That does suck if it does, because, like, I don't have a way to... I don't have a time-lapse feature on my channel, because I'm cool like that. That should be all 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yep. But just to make sure... Okay, yep, that's all 8. Now once I just upgrade this one... Now, what I did, when I placed all of these, and when I, like, maxed all of them, I went ahead and just got, like, Yagami and the Irwins down, because why not? And then, like, after my first, like, Yagami, because I have to clear out everything, because airs were coming, so, like, pretty dangerous stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and upgrade this Conan, so I'm not getting, like, the worst damage output. Don't do the mistake that I just did, or that I almost just did. You want to get all of these to, like, upgrade 3 before you get them to upgrade 4. Sadly, sometimes you do get that glitch where, oh yeah, and around now, when the powerfuls are about here, and there's a lot of units just lined up, go ahead and place a second Conan. It's worth it, trust me. And so around now, you should have all of them at upgrade 3. So, we're pretty close to the actual strategy. Around here is gonna be your, like, main area. That's where you're gonna have your buffs and everything. Alright, so around now you should have every but one maxed salesman. So you're about at the strategy. Alright, since I don't have enough money, like, to place light Yagami, I'm just gonna go ahead and place one Bulma or two, since they're cheap to max, and help out a lot later on. Alright, I almost have 3 maxed Bulmas, which will do good. Alright, and yeah, now you want to place your first light Yagami, and you want to place them along this line right here, around, like, right here. And then you're gonna want to place Erwin. Now, it doesn't really matter where you place them. I recommend, like, around right there, and then having the other Erwin right there, so that nothing gets affected that's on this mountain. Nothing on this mountain gets affected. Alright, so once the heirs reach right here is when you want to delete the Conans. Like, right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete mine. Yeah, now I'm gonna delete my Conan. And I'm gonna wait until the heirs get to, like, right here to buff. And you want to make sure that the heirs are in the buff cycle. I mean, not the buff cycle, but the Erwin cycle. Not the Erwin cycle. The, look. The right names. Okay, and then bam. You have 148 million damage already. And around now, you can place your second, like, Yagami. Go ahead and max him. Now, I recommend placing another Conan, just because there is absolutely no point in using a light Yagami right now. There are so little enemies on the field, so there is no point. Around now is when I'd suggest placing all your Bulmas and maxing them. Now, I do suggest putting your money units over here, because then it's easy to access in case, like, you didn't max all of them. It's just a very easy way to access them. Alright, and so once you've done all of that, you're just going to want to wait until the next heirs come, and they get to right here. Because that's like the next problem. Now you want to go ahead and place down all your Kiras, because, oh yeah, and you, here, before you place down your next Irwin cycle, go ahead and max that one Kira. And then place your second Irwin cycle. That was the dumbest thing I've ever done. Now you do want your Gokus to be right here, but not yet. Alright, we can go on and place another Kira. And heirs still haven't come yet, so we should be fine for a while. And around once we place all of our Kiras, that's when you want to place your Gokus. Actually, no. Don't place your Gokus once you've placed all your Kiras. Because you want to wait until you have like 170,000 cash, so they don't hoggle, like, so they don't kill them, the enemies, and not get a lot of damage. So yeah, right now we're just waiting for the heirs to come. You could 100% use a Light Yagami right now. Look, I will delete both of these, and I'm going to use a Light Yagami. It will probably give more damage. So I could just, like, be beating the system right now. Well, not the system, but I could be beating the strategy. So around now is when you want to buff. Then you're just going to go for that second Light Yagami. Around now. Or around once they get to, like, right here. And bam, you already have 219 million damage. And actually, I'm just gonna have that Conan there for just a little bit. To take out probably this just one Decelerate. Just so I can speed things up. There's no more Decelerate. Alright, and you're already almost at the final Kira. Or maxing the final Kira. The reason you want to use your Death Notes right now is because you will be able to reuse them later on. So around now, I'm going to go ahead and buff. Well, actually, wait. I'm going to wait. Now, around now, I'll buff. And I'm going to use this Kira so it hits the most. And bam, everything is gone. 283 million damage. And we're just going to keep on going like this. since we do have the buff cycle. And you want to wait to place Goku until you have like 100,000 damage. I mean, not 100,000, 100,000 cash. I'm so good at this. I said 100,000 damage. And then I said, no, not 100,000. Alright, yeah, so once the Decelerates get to that last corner is when you want to buff, like always. And then you just use Akira. Now, I wouldn't place your Gokus yet, even, like, I'm not going to, even though I have 100,000. And I'm gonna wait until they get... And I'm using this Kira because he'll hit a lot, too. And I'm gonna use it now. And bam, 382 million damage. Now's the time when you want to start placing Gokus. I'd suggest only placing one so he doesn't take all the damage. But yeah, you can place multiple like I'm doing, just because there's no point in not doing it. Actually, there is a point in not doing it, but besides that, there really isn't. Since you already have all your lights down, all you have to do is buff cycle and place Gokus. And hopefully, in return, later on, you will get your 1 billion damage. Now, you do want to buff cycle, so you're not, like, getting absolutely no damage. This does take a long time, like, especially this strategy, but it's very worth it. And this video is very long, but it's very worth it to watch. Because you know what to do after you've watched it. Now you want to make sure that all of the Gokus are in the 3 buff, the 4 buff, but technically the 2 buff for this. But it's the same thing, so it doesn't really matter. See, I've never tested this, but you might be able to do like an extra buff. I'll test it real quick. Just so you know, like, if you can get even more damage. So I'm gonna wait for this one to cool down. Okay, it did. And now time to test. No. Using another Erwin does nothing. And it sucks that you can't sell him. So you mainly want to hope that you're not getting anything into the 1 buff. Or I guess you would call it a 2 buff. Since the bomb orb is on it. This video may be 25 minutes long already, but that's not the point. The point is getting y'all the 1 billion damage that y'all deserve. So around now, you can literally just go AFK and still do fine. But I wouldn't recommend doing it because you do want more damage, so you got a buff cycle. Once you get all of your Gokus down, which I'm pretty close to doing, all you have to do is buff cycle and wait for everything to get like to here, so that you can use Kira's. And see, the first Kira has already, almost all of the, okay, so the first Kira has already reset. That's at wave 39, so you can tell that it does reset. It just takes quite a long time. There is no point in using Akira until enemies get to, like, back there. Because of, just because. Now, you could probably replace Conan with, Merlin and do even better, since, the Merlin range buff. Putting that on late, and you'd hit literally everything in the map. It'd be no struggles. But I don't do that because I'm me. Or you could replace Bulma with, Merlin, but what's the point of that? You're getting less money. Sorry, I'm just checking the banner. Oh, it's Buddha Chairman. Oh, and apparently Roblox is experiencing data issues, so I wouldn't play right now. That's probably a bad thing. But I'm doing it for the video. If I lose all my progress, then I guess I have to start over. But if I don't lose all my progress, then that's epic. Now, this is like one of the longer parts because you're really just waiting until like wave 60 so that you can struggle a bit, and then that's when you're gonna want to use your Kiras because that's when they're gonna be like over here. And I'm on my last Goku, so around now you should be on your last Goku too. If you're not, I don't know what you're doing. It's kind of sad. Maybe you've already placed all your Gokus because you have the Cost Orb and Max Farms, unlike me. But yeah, you're pretty close to getting to the point where you do need to rely entirely on Light Yagami. Right now it's just the boring part. With almost maxing your final Goku, you should be ready to just like sit AFK. I'm kidding, don't do that. Just buff cycle. And around now, all of your Kiras should be reset. Let's check the health on the enemies. Oh, and you want to set this Goku to last, this Goku to last, and this Goku to last. Now let's check the enemy's health. 16,000. Don't even have to buff right now. So I'm gonna go get a drink while this runs. Okay, around now you should have everything maxed. You don't need to place any Conins because they're just gonna get in the way. If you have Blackbeard, you can do even better and just go ahead and place him. But because I don't have Blackbeard, I can't do that. And yeah, all you gotta do now is buff cycle. But you don't even need to do it right now. But I suggest that you do, because you do get more damage. Dang, that's 644,000. That's just crazy. Reaching wave 51. You're still not having any struggles. They're at 34,000 health now, which is still enough for Goku to handle without the buff. So if you miss buff, you're still fine. But you probably won't get as much damage. Another thing you could do, if you are starting to miss buff, you could place another buff line right here. But because I used one R1 right there, I can't do that. Yeah, but you could just like place another Irwin right here, and just have a separate buff line. So you can go bam, and then when this one is out, just go bam, and you just have a separate buff line. So if you miss one buff, you can do another. Around now, they should have 73,000 health, which is when they will start getting through. And what I mean by if you miss buff, like say you accidentally use a buff before they finish, so you can just go ahead and use this, like the other buff line, and you could continuously do that, or not. Like, alright, so say you just buffed, or like you think the buffs are about to run out. So you buff, and bam, the buffs haven't run out yet. So you still have that one buff there, and you still have that other line of buffs, so it makes it still good. So around now, you should be at wave 55, and they should have 93,000 health. This is when they're gonna start getting over here, because everything is gonna be focusing on these. But you still do not want to use your Kiras, because they are gonna be very useful in the next 4 waves. Wave 56, they should start to have 150,000 health. So yeah, you're gonna be struggling a bit now, and I still don't say that you should use your Kiras, because there's not a lot on the map right now. Now I'm gonna use my Irwins, and I'm going not to use one Kira until they get to like right here. Oh, see, that's what I mean. Always have that separate buff line. Your Gokus won't get buffed though, so. Alright, so that's one Kira. And don't use another unless you really need to. I'd say use it now. Of course y'all won't have to use it, because you probably didn't mess up your buff like me. Alright, now you should have around 651 million damage, and the Goku should start helping again if, like, you messed up like I did. I'll go ahead and use one more Kira just for the fun of it. It's gonna be pretty useful, so I do recommend using it. And very soon, the buffs are gonna run out. Oh, uh-oh. Oh, that was a quick save. They were right here. Right, now you're at wave 60. Don't use your Kiras yet. because the buff cycle is messed up, I do have to use it like this. And bam, that's another save. And now I just have to wait for this one of these to get there. And I'm gonna go ahead and use another Kira. And now another Kira. And the final Kira will be used now. And you're at 1 billion damage. Now you literally can't do anything about the enemies that are over here. Well, you just have to rely on the Gokus. Which should be able to handle it until around wave 63. See, this one thing is getting through. I got it to wave 62, and I got 1 billion damage. That is the 1 billion damage strategy. Subscribe, because this literally took 41 minutes, and you can tell because of the video length. And yeah, you should also subscribe, because that is I just helped everybody. And let me, just for like references, I have around, hold on, once my game loads, I have 2,474 gems right now, and I'm just gonna let's see how much gems I get. So 2,474. We're just gonna go with 2,400, and once I finish all of this damage, we'll see. Already at 3,000. 3,200. Still not into the 8 billions. 3,400. So it's giving at least 1,000 gems. Let's see though. 3,600. 3,700. 3,800. 3,900. 3,000 and 4,000. 4,100. That is 1,700 gems. That's how good this gem grind method is. Now, with 2 of those, you can afford a pity. With 3 of those, you can almost afford 2 pities. So, goodbye. You're welcome, and thank you for watching this far.